Camille Pantane Sensei will now introduce our Dharma speakers for today.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see all of your smiling faces. Today, it is my great joy to introduce two of our Padma Sangha Dharma class speakers who will be taking their final exams in front of all of us today. Kyan, who will be earning his Sangha Award, is from Troop 58, sponsored by Konko Church. And Kayleigh, who is a high school junior YBA student, who will be earning her Dharma Award. Both Kyan and Kayleigh have been studying for over a year in the Padma Sangha Dharma class, which is designed to help young people learn about Buddhism and reflect on how it impacts their values in life. They will be speaking today on a meaningful aspect of Buddhism, and for Kyan, the Scout Law, in addition to that, and for Kayleigh, the values that guide her life, in addition to that. Kyan will speak first, followed by Kayleigh. Please give them your attention and support.
Hello, my name is Kyan Ichinose, and I'm a sophomore at Sacred Heart Cathedral. I've been participating in Camille Sensei's program for more than a year, and in that time have learned a lot about Buddhism. Today, I'd like to share about a Buddhist teaching called impermanence, and then relate that to the Boy Scout law. Impermanence is the teaching and understanding that nothing lasts forever. Joy and happiness can't last forever, and neither will pain and suffering. My personal experience goes back to the first day of middle school. I attended JBVP, Japanese Bilingual Bicultural Program, at Rosa Parks Elementary School in Western Addition. The school was kind of divided into two different groups. There was general education and JBVP. Although we were all on the same campus, we really didn't do much together. The JBVP program was mostly Asian and white. My friend group was also mostly made up of Asian people. And outside of school, I played basketball for the Associates, which is the Asian basketball organization, which meant that all my friends from basketball were also Asian, just to give you an idea of who I was friends with at the time. The transition into middle school is where I struggled. I attended Presidio Middle School along with all my other friends, but only for about 3 weeks when my parents transferred me to Gateway Middle School. Gateway is a very small charter school with about 100 kids per grade level. However, I argued against their decision because I was comfortable at Presidio, and I also had a bunch of friends who were going there. And I felt comfortable there. Comparing these two, Gateway has a much more diverse student body across Black, Hispanic, and white students, and Asians only make up 5 to 10% of the students there. My first couple weeks at Gateway were very different, especially my first few days. There might have been one other Asian kid in my class, so I felt that I couldn't really relate to anyone else. I'd also transferred a couple weeks into the school year, so everyone had already made friends and stuff like that. So I started to play basketball during lunch and made friends that way, since I had something in common with who I was playing with. After that, I made new friends and got to enjoy school for more for what it had to offer. What started as a very unwanted and uncomfortable situation for me eventually turned into a good experience. I had also made friends across many different types of ethnicities. Understanding the concept of impermanence and realizing that a bad situation is only temporary will help you navigate through hard times. In my case, I really didn't want to transfer schools because I was comfortable at Presidio. But by thinking that things will get better and that the pain I'm feeling from transferring schools is temporary, I was able to move past the fact that I was leaving my friends and move on to making new ones. Impermanence can also be applied to every situation, good or bad. An easier example to understand is when a loved one has passed away. Some of us have all been in that situation, and although it's very hard to accept it, thinking of impermanence and that the pain won't last forever may help guide you through those tough times. I'm also part of Troop 58 from Konko Church, right down the street from the Buddhist church. And in Scouts, we recite the Scouts Law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Out of these 12 characteristics, I think that bravery is among the more important values because in order to achieve anything, you need to have the courage and be confident enough to pursue your dreams. Bravery and impermanence also go hand in hand. If we truly understand what impermanence is, it helps strengthen our mental strength to face difficult situations. At the end of the day, we're all going to come across situations or events that makes us feel uncomfortable. That's just life. But by understanding the teachings of impermanence and bravely facing those feelings and emotions, knowing they will subside, I believe anything in life is possible. Thank you.
Hi, can everyone hear me? Okay. Hi, my name is Kayleigh, and I am a sophomore at St. Ignatius High School. Today is the culmination of my learning about Buddhism as I earn my Dharma award. I will be speaking on two aspects of Buddhism that are important to me and help guide my life. They are oneness, our connection to everything and everyone, and the value of sentient life. I was not exposed to formal religion when I was younger. My parents wanted my brother and I to choose which spiritual path we wanted to embark on. Through this class with Camille Sensei, I have learned so much about Buddhism. Through the connections that I have now fostered, I have come to the realization that half a century ago and half a world away, Popo, my grandmother, was also learning about and practicing Buddhism in the place she was born and raised, a place she called Burma, and what we now call Myanmar. In 1951, Popo was born straight into the hustle and bustle of city life in the former capital city of Rangoon. She lived in a one-room concrete structure on 39th Street with her parents and 10 siblings, who are all devout practicing Buddhists, as 90% of the Burmese population practice Theravada Buddhism. When she was 19, she moved a half-hour bus ride away to the suburbs, where she lived with Gongong, my grandfather, in a one-room straw hut with a mud floor. Together, an important part of their daily life included burning incense and chanting what Popo calls Buddha music. Popo uses prayer beads, which is similar to our Anenju, to help her meditate, clear her mind, focus, and practice mindfulness. This mindfulness that she practices while praying extends outwards into the world around her. One of the many things I have inherited from Popo is her belief that every sentient life has value. I know that she is very mindful in practicing this sentiment, as she is a vegetarian. Personally, I have reduced my meat consumption to only a couple days a week, but I hope to one day be as disciplined as Popo is in showing respect to all animal life. The insistence that she places the same significance on every life, as well as her mindfulness, are some of the qualities I admire most about her. In addition to valuing all sentient life, another Buddhist concept that resonated strongly with me is oneness and our connection to everything and everyone. I am connected to my grandparents, not only by blood, but also by the shared belief that we are all a link in Amita's golden chain. As I look back at my family's history, I think that oneness and the importance of sentient life can be traced back to my great-grandfather, who I call Super Gongong. Super Gongong moved from impoverished China to Burma in 1935 when he was 16. Not speaking a lick of Burmese, Super Gongong only had the values engraved in him when he went to Burma. There, he worked as a logger alongside multi-ethnic laborers, some of whom were Muslims. He embraced his new life in Burma and was able to make many friends. He even learned to speak Arabic through his conversations with his Muslim co-workers. This would have been very unusual for a Chinese man to fluently speak Arabic in the early 20th century. Super Gongong would not know at that time that the Burma that provided his family with a shelter, religion, and a community would today be facing a humanitarian crisis seen all around the world, the Rohingya genocide. Rohingya are the ethnic Muslim minority who live on the western coast of Burma and are being persecuted by the Burmese military. I have never met Super Gongong, as he died 25 years before I was born. but I wonder what a conversation with him would be like on this subject. I imagine we would be connected through a great deal of similarities. For instance, I imagine he would be alarmed and saddened by the atrocities being committed against the Rohingyas because of their religion and ethnicity. I imagine that he would want the Burmese military to be more consistent with their Buddhist values and teachings by embracing the concept of oneness, and therefore extending compassion and empathy towards others, especially to marginalized communities, in the hope that it will lead to equality for everyone. I personally would like to see all governments and communities practice oneness. As I think about the core values of Buddhism that I have learned from Camille Sensei's classes, I think about the value of sentient life and oneness, our connection to each other. I think about my ancestors who are no longer on this earth, my family who live with me today, my global community, my puppies, Happy and Kiwi, my friends, and how we are all connected to each other in Amita's golden chain. I think about the pandemic that we are currently living through and see how connected we all are in this existence. I have seen how such a destructive force can wreck our lives so quickly and with total disregard for human life. However, this also gives me the hope that our values as Buddhists can spread just as quickly and effectively. Our worlds may be in turmoil, but I remain optimistic that our Buddhist principles that have been embossed in us will be enough to shape the world into a place where we are all connected by the same virtue. All sentient life has value. Thank you to everyone, and especially to Camille Sensei for your support and guidance throughout my spiritual journey.
Thank you, Kyan and Kayleigh, for your guys' wonderful Dharma talks. I really enjoyed listening to them, and I hope you guys did too.